Okay, on question number 17, we are going to write the definitions of the six circular functions of the angle, passing through y with a radius of square root of x squared plus y squared. So sine, sine of theta is y over r. Cosine theta is x over r. Tangent of theta is y over x. And then the reciprocal function, such as cosecant, is the reciprocal of that, which is r over y. Secant is the reciprocal of cosine, so that is r over x. And cotangent is the reciprocal of tangent, so that is x over y. One way of remembering this, if you're having difficulty, is to draw a reference triangle in quadrant number 1. This is your radius. It's your x value, your y value, and this is theta. And remember, sine is opposite over hypotenuse, cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, and tangent is opposite over adjacent. And then the other three are just the reciprocal of that. Question 17. We are in quadrant number 4 here, since sine is negative. Because remember, each ordered pair, this is a positive and a negative, positive cosine, negative sine. So sine is going to be negative in quadrant 4. So I'm going to draw the reference triangle in quadrant number 4. And we know that sine is opposite over hypotenuse. So this is negative 4 over 5. So by the Pythagorean theorem, negative 4 squared plus x squared is going to be equal to 5 squared. So 16 plus x squared equals 25. If you solve that for x squared is equal to 9, so x is 3. So I am going to label that as x equals 3. We know that our y value is negative 4, and our radius is 5. Also, I knew since the cosine is greater than 0, we know we're going to have a positive cosine. So that's also another reason why we knew this was quadrant 4, because sine is negative in 2 different places over in quadrant 3 and 4. But cosine is always going to be positive in quadrant number 4. So now I need to find the other 5 trig functions. So we already know sine is negative 4/5. Cosine is going to be, remember that is x over r. That's going to be 3 over 5. Tangent is opposite over adjacent, or y over x, which would be negative 4 over 3. And then we've got the reciprocal functions. Cosecant is going to be 5 over negative 4. Secant, 5 over 3. And finally, cotangent, which is 3 over negative 4. So you can refer back to question number 17 if you're looking for the ratios again, because those are all the ratios that we used to do for number 18. For number 19, what I did here when I made this answer key is I remembered all students take calculus. And what that reminds you of is that all are positive in quadrant 1, sine and its reciprocal, which is, sorry about this pen, sine and cosecant are positive. Take is t for tangent, and cotangent are positive in quadrant 3, and calculus is c for so cosine and secant are positive in quadrant number 4. So what I did here is I looked at this piece of it, and I know sine is going to be greater than 0 or positive in quadrants 1 or 2, and tangent is negative in quadrants 2 or 3. Sorry, 2 or 4. So therefore, where it works for both means we are in quadrant number 2. Letter B, we have tangent is negative. Sorry, tangent is negative in quadrants 2 or 3. And tangent is positive in 1 or 3. And then again, what's in common between the two is quadrant 1. So for letter B, that is going to be true in quadrant 1. Don't mind me. For letter C, secant is positive, or greater than 0, which is positive in quadrant 1 or 4. And cosecant is going to be less than 0 in quadrants 3 or 4. So again, what's common amongst the two of them is quadrant 4. So this is only true in quadrant 4. Finally, number 20 is the last one in this section. Convert to radian measure. So when we convert from degree to radian, we're multiplying by pi over 180. So it looks like, I don't have the sheet in front of me, but I believe this is a non-calculator section. So this you have to reduce by hand. So 40 pi over 180. And then you're going to just, 20 goes into each one of these. 20 goes into 40 twice. And goes into 180 9 times. So this becomes 2 pi over 9. And finally, 165 is going to, again, you're going from degrees to radians. So you're multiplying by pi over 180. So this is 165 pi over 180. And again, I'm in the same boat you are. I have no calculator. So I'm going to divide by what I think is going to work. Well, they both have 5s and 0s, so I know I'm going to divide each one by 5. So if you divide each one by 5, I got 33 pi over 36. And again, as you look at that, they both end in 3 or 6, so divide each one by 3. So that becomes 11 pi over 12.